So I was thinking today about the gender pay gap that they talk about. And I was a female airline pilot, and so I was paid by employee file number. And we used to just bid the trips we wanted, and seniority, the more senior people got their first choice. And so the lines came out. A line is the monthly schedule for your airplane, and then you just bid the line you want. All from first to the end, from first to last, and I assume a machine sorted it all out. And we were also paid by employee file number. So your seat in the airplane, how many years you've been with the company, you all get paid the same. There was no girl box to check. And I think a lot of jobs that both men and women do are paid that way. Now, I've heard the people say that men are better at negotiating higher salaries. Okay. And that idea is, and that could be true, okay? It could be true that men value themselves more in our culture and they negotiate higher salaries. But it might be true that women actually negotiate better salaries using what men have been getting paid. Women may be coming in and saying, look, we'll do the same job, but I want to work 3 days from home, and I want to have this day or this day off, and I want to have flexibility around my kids' schedules. So I will do the same job that a guy goes into the city to do, but I will do it for this much less, and I'll do 3 days from home, and I want control over my schedule. I know at least 3 women that are just off the top of my head in very high-powered, high-pressure jobs. One's a doctor, and she's always at the school things. She never misses a school function. She's got 2 kids. Actually, there's another doctor I know also has control and flexibility over her schedule. Also spends time with her child in the classroom and whatnot. So those 2 female doctors may show up as getting paid less, but in my opinion, they have a higher quality of life, and so I think I would call them better negotiators. Because talking about a gender pay gap is another way of saying women are victims, women are victims. What I'm saying, women may be negotiating better, and they may be smarter than the numbers are showing. And so I was in college. I did not want to go to college. So, but I learned a lot. Like, I didn't take notes like a regular person. I just sat there and I listened, and I didn't want to be there, but I would listen to everything. And I have a somewhat photographic memory. So I remember things, and I've put things together, and things have been put together in my brain, the way my brain works. It's lucky for me. So in my statistics class, I learned statistics can lie and liars can use statistics. I learned that if you take one set of parameters, you can make a study say what you want it to say. You just change the parameters. And they use this all the time with other political issues. Everything's become a political issue now, but whatever anyone wants to show, they can show. And so this is what I mean when I say no one's 100% wrong. People are using data that's accessible, and they can quote it underneath their studies, and they're on the up and up. They're not all trying to manipulate. They want to see a certain outcome of their study. They want a certain answer. And their ego helps them, assists them to find the right things, look at things the way that's going to prove them right. So the ego is all about proving you right. You're right. They're wrong. That's just the ego's job. That's what it does. It's not nefarious necessarily. I mean, some of these, you know, some of the studies, you know, cost so much money that, like, big pharmaceutical companies are the ones doing the studies to prove that their drugs or whatever are not harmful. Same with, like, Roundup, you know. By the way, if you're drinking California wines, I didn't follow this up, but I heard that 100% of California wines have Roundup in them. If you want to check that up, check on that, you can. 100%, even the organic ones, they have some Roundup in there. So if you drink California wines and you don't want to drink Roundup, you may want to check that out for yourself. But, okay, so if the study's very expensive, then sometimes the company who wants their products patented or put on the market are the ones paying for the study. And there's a lot that you can find for yourself in open source information about, you know, rats with tumors cut out of their bodies that no one said we couldn't cut tumors out of the rats. So, and also lots of studies where the data is, they did the study, they published it, and then they got rid of the data. And they said, well, you didn't tell us we had to keep it. Okay, so there's all that stuff is happening. That's why it's silly for normal people to fight. Because just, if you just look into something 15 minutes longer, rather than just getting yourself worked up and going to fight about it. Anyway, but it's totally your choice to fight. I understand fighting. And I'm getting much more comfortable around fighting and with fighting. So that's awesome for me, because I used to want to just run away from the world, and now I'm like, I can handle this. But back to women, it's said that because really the only thing you're looking at is money. But I said, you know, I think yesterday that, well, and I said today, let's start with this. So today I was doing a practice live stream for, to make sure that where I am, I can live stream without all these interruptions. I just did a test. And I just said, you know, if your priority is money, then it's easy to manipulate you. If your priority is money and finances, you're much more easily controlled than someone like me, who's been so poor I lived in my car and ate food like off the plates when I was a waitress. Like, money can't control me. I know that I married the right person. I know that I have the right children, and I know we could all live in the car if we had to. It would be fine, because I've done that before. And I don't think a lot of people have done that. So they feel sorry for people, and it's like they don't need you to feel sorry for them. And I told the story before, but when I lived in my car and my friends found out, they're like, oh no, come stay with us. And then I went to stay with these people, and my bed was the couch, and there was a guy that lived there, and he would, like, I couldn't go to bed till they went to bed, and he was like, can you rub my shoulders? I mean, I was doing their dishes, and I was vacuuming their house. I was cleaning their house, cleaning their place, and then I couldn't go to bed till they went. And the guy would be like, oh, can you rub my shoulders? Like, every night. I'm like, if I were still staying in my car, I wouldn't have a house to clean, and I wouldn't have to rub anybody's shoulders, and I could go to sleep by now. So some of these people think they're helping, and I'm sure they felt really good about, oh, we helped our friend. But it wasn't any fun for me, and I couldn't leave. Well, no, I could have left. I didn't feel like I could just say thanks, but, you know, I had more fun in my car because I just had more freedom in my car. And so for a lot of us, freedom is our priority. Fun, joy, freedom. We've been poor. I've been super poor. And I had more fun than a lot of people who have so much money that it's obscene. I used to fly these people. So I used to fly little planes, and I'd listen to these really wealthy people complain. And I was like, ugh. And I'd be flying this awesome Aerostar, this really fun little, you know, twin engine, piston twin, like everywhere. And then I could go eat at all these different restaurants all over. Wherever I went, I would walk, and I would like just have these adventures all the time. And I was so freaking poor. I was so poor, I lived with all these losers. I probably shouldn't have said that, but I don't think any of them would ever watch any of my videos anyway, so it doesn't really matter. But I had so many adventures, and I had so much fun. And then my free-spiritedness is what my husband fell in love with. And so I used to say to Dave, why did you marry me? He's like, life with you is never boring. I never know what he goes, I never know what I'm going to come home to. And he's very solid, he's very grounded. And he likes, I have ideas that are way too big that I'll probably never get done. But today, just today, I was doing the dishes, we're renting this beach house. Just today, he was talking to, I think his mom, he was talking to his mom, and he was saying, yeah, you know, someday I'd like to do a big project. Probably I know I'm going to have to build a healing center. And I was like, oh, it's coming out of his mouth now. It's like so cool. So I was very excited. So maybe I will get my healing center someday. If I do, that would be amazing, you know. I would love that. And I had someone who watches my videos text me and say they want to help me do some stuff, and like they're ready to like help. Oh, so who knows? This what I just do with my little 87 subscribers might turn into something. That'd be cool, because I would really love to help people understand that you need joy and you need freedom, and then money comes or doesn't. But when you have joy and you have freedom, you don't need as much money as people who are really unhappy. Okay, gender pay gap. Bring it back to that. It could be that women are way better negotiators because they don't prioritize money over their own happiness. They don't prioritize money over, or power, money, power, whatever, over their relationship and their time with their children. It could just be that women are the savviest negotiators because they work from home more often, and they know how to use the higher male salaries against the men. And they say, I want a higher quality of life. My kids are little. I want to do a job. I want to work while my kids are in school, and I can do that job that guy goes. That guy that makes, say, $300,000 a year. So maybe I'm just making this up. But, you know, it could be that some woman goes, you know, I could do that job. I'd be better at it than him. He's making $300,000, and he has to go to work and work 80 hours a week, 6 days a week. I'm going to do that job for $200,000, and I'll work 3 days from home, and I'll have full control over my schedule with my children while they're young. Da, 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 da. It's going to show up that she makes less money. And if you're only looking at money, you're going to think that women don't get paid as much. But that means your whole priority is on money. And that's just not how it is for a lot of us. We want to be happy. We want joy. We want time with our families and our children. We want time to ourselves. We want to enjoy our lives. So it just might be that women are way better at negotiating. That's what I wanted to say. That's what I wanted to say. And I love my renegade yogis. And like for me, look at me. So my husband works 6 days a week. He works really hard 6 days a week, and he's very happy to do it. He loves his customers. He loves welding. He loves like paying anyone who helps him. He likes to pay them really well. He loves welding. He loves fabricating racks for like contractors who like build things, and then he helps design and fabricate these racks for these people. And then they're so happy, and then they work 6 days a week, whatever, and then he pays all my bills. He pays all of our bills, and so he works 6 days a week, and he knows that the kids are taken great care of, and he knows that I work with people. I do a lot of stuff for free to help people have happier lives. He loves that he can pay for everything so that I can do all the stuff I do for free. And, you know, when I was getting really stressed or like grippy, he said, honey, why don't you just take tomorrow and just make those cups that you like to make? Just make cups all day. I was like, oh, I have so much to do. He's like, don't do anything. Just make cups. Just make those cups. And I did. And I had a great day. I showed him all the cups, and he picked up a cup, and he's like, this is beautiful. Like, you're the only one that can do this. This is so artistic. And he's got everything covered, you know? And if people really like feel good about themselves talking about the gender pay gap and whatever, I know that there is that. There's people who feel really good and about complaining about the gender pay gap, and they think it's a done deal and that it's a common fact. And if you look at everything that goes into it, plus, you know, I'll tell you, as a girl pilot, I was one of only maybe 5% at United, and Delta had like 2%, American had like 4 or 5%. So professional female pilots, like no one had 6%. Maybe, I don't know what it is now, but when I was doing it, 5% was the highest at United. So when I was teaching flight instructing, like everybody, when they solo, everybody wanted to be, you know, so many kids, so many people think they want to be professional pilots. And then they have the first couple flights in IFR conditions, which is instrument flight rules, where you can't, where your whole windscreen, you're in a big cloud, you're just in the cloud, and you have to learn to rely on instruments to get yourself out of the cloud, landing safely in the ground. Or, you know, often in the clouds, when we fly in the clouds, it's bumpy. And in a little airplane, you really get smashed around. And so I can't count how many people just decide they don't want to become professional pilots after flying in the clouds. So for what it's worth, you could keep fighting about the gender pay gap, but if you want to calm down about the gender pay gap, then you can listen to me say what I'm saying, that if you're only looking at money and you're not looking at quality of life and time with your kids and time with your family, time off, then you're going to get a different picture. And you keep fighting about that, but if you want to calm down, you can listen to people like me who did professional jobs that mostly men do. And there's just not a lot of people want to do it. Men, women, or anybody. They think it's dangerous, so a lot of them don't want to do it. There's some ice truckers. There's not many women that do that. I mean, you can look for if you want to bust the gender pay gap story of being a victim, of women being a victim, you can break that if you want to. So I just wanted to say the thing about negotiating. It's not that it bothers me that people say, oh, women aren't good negotiators. I'm like, it doesn't make me mad that somebody says that. It doesn't make me mad that it's become part of the narrative. I don't care. I'm just offering this information as a way of calming the mind down and understanding that there are more important things in the world than money. And for me, time with my kids and time meditating and time reading. I love reading. And when you're happier and you feel more free, your life's going as fast as everybody else. But people like me don't put money as money's not the priority. It's not. If it was, I wouldn't do all the free stuff I do. I would work to make money all the time. It brings me joy to help people become more joyful in their lives. What I do is really ambiguous and odd. So I didn't even try and describe it. But now I have a person trying to help me. They might turn it into something that makes it so that I can get an Airstream or get a healing center or whatever. I don't know. We'll see. But if you want to calm down on the gender pay gap stuff, you can listen to what I'm saying now, and you can allow that to become part of your understanding. But I wouldn't go using that against people who want to keep the narrative and keep the victimhood narrative. So it's really only listen to me if you want to get empowered or want to drop the victim narrative and you want to be grateful and you want to make peace, joy, and freedom your priority. Then you get a completely different, totally different picture. Okay, love you. See ya.